A very good morning to everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the Bulletin this Sunday, the 30th of November 2025. You are listening to the club station of the Sandton Amateur Radio Club, ZS6STN, which is operated today from the shack of Stuart ZR1WT in George, Western Cape. It is a beautiful clear blue sky today here in George with a temperature of 20 degrees C and 21 in the shack, which is quite different from the last few days we've had where it's been mostly cloudy and a bit of rain, not as much as what you get up there in the north. This club bulletin is broadcast every Sunday at 8:45 a.m. local time on the following frequencies: 145.700 megahertz FM in the 2-meter band, 7.115 megahertz lower side band in the 40-meter band, today via a relay from the shack of Knoll, ZR6 Delta X-ray. And we should have Echo Link, although I don't see it actually running. Maybe I'm on the wrong one there. All-Star nodes and various repeaters linked via All-Star. This bulletin is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Sandton Amateur Radio Club ZS6STN's YouTube page. In the bulletin today, we start with the ZARL General News, followed by club birthdays and club news, the special topic of interest, and finally, general call-ins and swap shop on 40 meters, Echolink, and 2 meters. The South African Radio League news for Sunday, the 30th of November, 2025. Good morning and welcome to the weekly news bulletin of the South African Radio League, read by Stuart, ZR1WT in George, Western Cape. The text bulletin can be downloaded from https://mysarl.org.za/SARL-news. In the news today, the SARL Happy Holiday Hunt, the December 2025 Radio ZS, and the Cool Awards program. Stay tuned for more information on these and other interesting news items. Congratulations to Paul, ZS6 November Kilo. Paul, ZS6NK, has informed the SARL News that DXCC entity number 201 on 6 meters has been confirmed. He says he took 11 years to confirm 100 DXCC entities and 24 years to confirm the next 101 DXCC entities. Congratulations, Paul. The SARL Happy Holiday Hunt, the SARL Contest Working Group is proud to announce an exciting holiday event for 2025. The Happy Holiday Hunt will run from midnight on Sunday the 14th of December 2025 to midnight on Thursday the 15th of January 2026. And everybody is encouraged to get on the air and enjoy the company of fellow amateurs on the air. The aim is to work stations in the SADC region, with many operators unable to fully enjoy the hobby during parts of the year, when occupations eat into hobby time. This month-long event aims to promote on-air activity over the holiday period. Whether you prefer CW, SSB or digital mode, RAG choose, or just a quick QSO, you will find something to your liking. And bonus points on the 30 and 60 meter bands too. Just remember that most countries only have the WRC 16 meter allocation. It's only for South Africa and Lesotho, and they have access to 5350 to 5354 kilohertz. Therefore, arrange your 60 meter QSOs carefully. This is an ideal opportunity to work on your worked all ZS and worked all grid squares achievements, while perhaps building and testing out that antenna you always need to finish and get ready for 2026 contesting calendar. Field station or holiday stations are encouraged, especially if you operate from a grid other than your normal QTH. More information about the event as well as the Excel log sheet can be found on the contest resources page. That's https://mysarl.org.za/contest-resources. Sorry, let me repeat that. It's mysarl.org.za/contest-resources. Also on page 35 of the December Radio ZS. The December 2025 Radio ZS. The December 2025 issue of Radio ZS is ready for downloading. Find how to get your club in Radio ZS. Get on the air for a RRL 10-meter contest and get set up for VARAC. There are 2 articles about the Car 13 launch, and we visit Orion Primary School and their contact with ISS. Dani, ZS1 Oscar Sierra Sierra, talks more about free DV, digital voice for HF. Brandon, ZS6 Lima Zulu, takes us with him on his mini Certa expedition, and we visit Hood Point Lighthouse. We look at D-Star Meshcom 4.0 gateway and state that knowing your equipment leads to confidence in preparedness. No, the Worked All ZS is not only amateur radio award in the world. Read all about the awards and certificates that are available around the world and more in this issue. The December Youth on the Air Month. During the entire month of December, many young amateurs around the world will be active with YOTO, Youth on the Air, as the suffix in their call signs. ZS69 YOTO is available for use by clubs and individuals who want to host the young people. Many of these young amateurs are encouraging other youth to be active on the amateur radio bands. Some will give demonstrations at their schools, introducing amateur radio to friends while making QSOs or enjoying a great pile-up. Licensed and unlicensed youth, with the help of a licensed operator, will be making QSOs. Everyone is reminded that this could be the first radio contact ever for some newcomers. Help fill their logbooks. Read more on page 13 of the December Radio ZS, or visit https://www.ham-yota.com. You are listening to a news bulletin of the South African Radio League. The Cool Awards program. It is with a mix of gratitude and sadness that we announce the shutdown of the Cool Awards program. After careful consideration, we have made the difficult decision to discontinue the service due to insufficient growth and participation. We would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to all the dedicated individuals who supported and participated in the Cool over the years. Special recognition goes to Ed, ZS6 Uniform Tango, Mike, ZS6 Mike Sierra Whiskey, Ludwig, ZS5 Charlie November, Ian, ZS6 India Alpha India, Charles, ZS1 Charlie Fox, Eddie, ZS6 Bravo November Echo, Danny, ZS5 Delta Golf, John, Alpha 2 November Echo Whiskey, Walter, ZR6 Hotel Alpha Mike, Woody, ZS3 Whiskey Lima, and Dave, ZS6 Alpha Zulu Papa. Many have come and gone, and while some chose not to participate, we remain grateful for the community that formed around the Cool. The system depended on continuous growth to remain viable, and despite our best efforts, we were unable to sustain the necessary level of engagement. Thank you for your understanding and support. Special congratulations go to Mike, ZS6 MSW, a front runner in the Cool Awards and an absolute Cool supporter. Your enthusiasm and dedication have been truly inspiring. Contest news. 16 logs were received for the second leg of the SARL Newbie QSO party held on Saturday the 15th of August 2025. First, Chloe Zaman, ZR1 Charlie Zulu with 755 points. Second, Andre Nokia, ZS2 Alpha Lima November with 271 points. Third, Wayne Bevan, ZS6 Oscar Radio Bravo with 245 points. The combined score of the two legs: first, Chloe Zaman, ZR1 Charlie Zulu with 1,206 points. Second is Wayne Bevan, ZS6 Oscar Radio Bravo with 723 points. And third, David Dutoy, ZS6 Delta Delta Tango with 505 points. The full set of results will be published in HF Happenings 1175. Need a book? Get it on Black Friday. The South African Amateur Radio Development Trust online bookshop is offering a Black Friday discount on all stock items this Black Friday. For more details, visit www.amateurradio.org.za. This offer is valid until the 15th of December. Propagation report. Hannes Kutsia, ZS6 Bravo Zulu Papa, reports that the solar activity is expected to be at low to moderate levels. There are currently 5 sunspot regions with simple to slightly complex magnetic configurations visible. There is a high probability for C-class and a low to moderate probability for M-class solar flares. If you want to do your own frequency predictions, the expected effective sunspot number for the week will be around 98. The 10 meter to 30 meter bands may, especially in the early mornings and late afternoons, provide some good DX fun. Please visit the website spaceweather.sansa.org.za for more information. Finally, a diary of upcoming events. Today until midnight UTC, the CQWWCW contest. 1st of December, the start of the December Yota month. 3rd, International Day of Persons with Disabilities. 5th of December, International Volunteers Day and World Soil Day. 6th of December, ZS6 Flea Market and the ZS4SRK Club Meeting. 6th and 7th of December, the ARRL 160 meter contest. 10th of December, International Human Rights Day and Provincial Schools Close. The 11th of December, the International Mountain Day. 13th and 14th of December, the Geminids Meteor Shower and the ARRL 10 meter contest. You have listened to a news bulletin written by Andy Cairns, ZS6 Alpha Delta Yankee, proofread by Paul Johnson, ZS1 Sierra, and read by Stuart, ZR1WT. Stay tuned for ZS6STN Club News. Sandton Amateur Radio Right, the Sandton Amateur Radio Club News. Let's start with some birthdays of club members. Last week we had ZS6 Golf Lima, Graham Bussy on the 19th of November. Congratulations, and I hope you had a great day on your birthday. Coming up this week, we have ZR6 Mike Yankee, which is Mary de Villiers on the 2nd. ZS6 YLB, Brenda Else on the 4th. ZR6 Bravo November, Nathan Bussy on the 6th. And ZS6 Juliet Golf Papa, Justin Pretorius on the 6th. Congratulations, and I hope you'll have a great day on your birthday. Club News. If you'd like to contribute to the club news this morning, please call in now on 2 meters. ZS6STN is listening.
ZS6 Hotel India.
ZS6HI, please take a round.
Good morning, Stuart, and to all the listeners. This is Keith, ZS6 Hotel India, and I'd like to just give a quick report back on our Wednesday evening club meet and the Power Hour Tech Talk that took place on Baycar 13 on Wednesday evening. So there were only 4 of us at the club venue on Wednesday evening, and we have put out a poll on the system on the WhatsApp group, and it looks like most people would prefer a weekend to Wednesday evening, so we will discuss that as a committee. And then we had the Power Hour Tech Talk at 7 o'clock in that evening, and we on Baycar 13, and Christo gave us a lead-in on what Baycar 13 is all about and why we do Baycar 13, and then subsequently we had presentations from all of those who threw payloads on the Baycar 13. Well, I won't say all. Most of those who threw payloads on Baycar 13 were there to give us updates on their Baycar payloads, and it was absolutely amazing to see the various different ways that people had approached various things and made their payloads. Some were making circuit boards, others were not. They just used fly leads, and several of us had GPS issues. The GPS has to be put into flight mode, and there's strict controls around the GPSs and what they can give you if you're traveling too fast or the G-force is above a certain factor. So that was interesting. I wasn't the only one who experienced problems with the the GPS coordinates. And some great tips and on how to get things done and using different microprocessor boards. It was fascinating, and this is in reach of anybody because some of it's like putting Lego pieces together and writing a little bit of software around it. But the recording is available on YouTube for those who want to go and listen to the Baycar 13 recording. We ran out of time. We were meant to do a Power Hour Tech Talk, and I think we did almost a 2-hour or just over 2 hours. So some of the speakers towards the end didn't give quite as much airtime, but there were over 20 people online listening to the Baycar 13 Power Hour Tech Talk on Wednesday evening. And then just from the committee, for those that might be going away or switching off, you've heard about the holiday challenge. But if you're going away, we wish you all the best and happy holidays to everybody and a wonderful new year. ZS6STN, ZS6HI.
ZS6STN returns. Thanks, Keith, for that. Right, we'll move to the special topic of interest. Right, from Apollo to Artemis, why going to the moon in 2025 and further takes way more rocket and fuel than it did in 1970. Following on from Keith's excellent topic of interest on the Artemis 2 a few weeks ago, I thought I would try and answer the central question: why did Apollo require only one rocket, the Saturn V, but Artemis requires a complex multi-launch and multi-vehicle system? The short answer is sustainability, but the technical explanation lies in the fundamental division of labor in the new program. Part 1. The Apollo baseline and the integrated system. To understand the change, we must first establish the technical baseline of Saturn V. Saturn V was a masterpiece of staging. The vehicle sat on the pad at roughly 2,950 tons, with approximately 2,700 tons of propellant across its 3 stages. The first stage, S1C, consumed the majority of that fuel. The S1C was powered by 5 F1 engines that generated approximately 34,500 kilonewtons of thrust. This stage used the dense RP1 kerosene and liquid oxygen, optimized for raw power to lift the vehicle through the thickest part of the atmosphere. It burned for only 150 seconds, pushing the stack to an altitude of 60 kilometers and a speed of 9,900 kilometers an hour. The other stages, like the SIVB, switched to liquid hydrogen. Hydrogen is far less dense, making storage complex, but it offers superior specific impulse or efficiency of around 421 seconds for the J2 engine. This efficiency allowed the third stage to push the entire 45-ton payload mass towards the moon. Apollo was an all-up system. Everything you needed left Earth on that single stack, the command service module and the lunar module. The new lunar module was a one-time use vehicle, built with structural margins that were razor thin. It was optimized for one metric, successful return with minimal mass at the expense of reusability. Right, then the Artemis split architecture. The Artemis program has adopted a fundamentally different split architecture designed for sustainability. This separation of roles is the single most important technical difference from Apollo and the reason for the perceived complexity. The entire mission is now performed by three distinct elements. Crew transport, NASA. This role is fulfilled by SLS rocket carrying the Orion spacecraft. Under current plans for Artemis 2, 3, 4, and 5, the SLS is the only vehicle launching astronauts from Earth. The SLS provides the high energy boost out of Earth's gravity well, and the Orion provides the crew habitat for the journey from the atmospheric re-entry capability for the return home. The lunar landers are commercial. These are the human landing system vehicles. The Starship HLS for Artemis 3 and 4, or the Blue Moon HLS for Artemis 5. These are launched separately, uncrewed, on their commercial launch vehicles, Starship Super Heavy or New Glenn for Blue Horizon. The orbital staging. The landers arrive at the target lunar orbit, typically in a near rectilinear halo orbit, or NRHO, and wait for Orion to arrive. This system requires astronauts to perform an orbital transfer. They launch on SLS/Orion, transfer to the commercial HLS lander to descend to the moon, ascend back to NRHO in the lander, and then transfer back to the Orion capsule for the trip back to Earth. The trade-off is clear. NASA retains crew safety ownership with high reliability through expendability, SLS/Orion stack, while offloading the high delta V mass-intensive task of lunar surface operations to the commercial partners. The Starship HLS architecture. Let's look at the two different commercial solutions, starting with SpaceX approach, contracted for the first two landings. Starship HLS is based on extreme reusability and bulk capacity. It is built of stainless steel, and even the lunar variant has a dry mass of roughly 100 tons, 20 times heavier than the ascent stage of the Apollo lunar module. The specific HLS Starship for Artemis landings does not have the heat shield or flaps. It is designed to operate solely in the vacuum of space and will not perform atmospheric re-entry on Earth. Starship uses Methalox engines, liquid methane and liquid oxygen. Methane is denser and easier to store than hydrogen, but less efficient, yielding a specific impulse of around 380 seconds. This combination of low efficiency and high structural mass means the Starship HLS needs approximately 1,200 tons of propellant just for the trip from low Earth orbit to the lunar surface and back to NRHO. Since the Starship Super Heavy cannot launch the HLS already full, it must perform orbital refueling. This requires launching a fuel depot plus 8 to 15 tanker starships to transfer the propellant in low Earth orbit. This fuel transfer in microgravity, requiring Ullage maneuvers to settle the cryogenics, is the primary technical challenge. The total mass of the propellant lifted to orbit for one Starship landing mission is predicted to be in the range of 11,000 to 16,000 tons. This is the necessary cost of fueling a system that can deliver 100 to 200 tons of cargo to the moon in a single flight once matured. The second approach contracted the Blue Origin for Artemis 5, favors high efficiency propulsion. The Blue Moon lander is lighter, with a dry mass around 16 to 20 tons. It uses high-performance BE7 engine, which burns liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen, hydrolox. This hydrolox combination yields a specific impulse of around 460 seconds. Because the lander is much lighter and the engines are more efficient, its propellant requirement for the lunar round trip is dramatically lower, only 30 to 40 tons. However, Blue Moon still faces the problem of cryogenic fluid management, particularly hydrogen's severe boil-off. They must employ active cryocoolers to keep the fuel at 20 degrees Kelvin during the long wait in lunar orbit. Architecturally, Blue Moon is launched on the New Glenn heavy lift rocket. While it doesn't need the massive fleet of tankers Starship does, its architecture for Artemis 5 still requires multiple launches and rendezvous maneuvers. This profile involves using New Glenn to launch the lander and a separate cislunar transporter, or tug. This reusable tug is designed to ferry fuel between Earth orbit and the lunar orbit staging point, which is necessary to deliver the fully fueled lander to the NRHO. System trade-offs. The comparison between the two commercial approaches highlights the core engineering trade-offs of modern space flight. SpaceX Starship represents the mass cost trade-off. It has the highest dry mass, around 100 tons. It requires the most launches, up to 16, leading to a massive 16,000-ton propellant requirement. However, its huge scale enables a delivery of 100 tons of cargo per flight, and its reusability targets a radically low cost per kilogram delivered over the long term. Blue Origin Blue Moon represents the efficiency complexity trade-off. It has a low dry mass of around 18 tons. It is highly efficient due to its hydrolox engines, requiring only a few thousand tons of propellant from Earth and only 30 to 40 tons of lunar round trip. It aims for a simpler launch cadence with 2 or 3 New Glenn launches per mission, but it is heavily reliant on mastering extremely cold cryogenic storage for extended durations in space. The cost of this modern complexity is the price of shifting the paradigm. We are burning more fuel in the 2020s, not because we forgot how to build rockets, but because we refuse to throw away multi-million-dollar vehicles and critical systems after a one-week trip. We are paying the initial logistics cost to establish a permanent presence. The SpaceX Starship long-term estimated cost per landing once the system is mature, which is from 2035 to 2040 time frame, is 50 to 100 million US dollars per trip, whereas the Blue Origin Blue Moon long-term cost per landing is 300 to 600 million US dollars. That's how we got the cost from a $30 billion landing, today's dollars, for Apollo, to eventually under $1 billion and maybe even one day under $1 million per launch. Well, I hope that explains why we have this complexity in the Artemis program. Right, thanks to everyone out there for listening. We trust that you have enjoyed the bulletin today. Please feel free to give comments or any other constructive criticism. Thank you to the stations that insisted with relays and broadcasting, and to those who contribute to the content from time to time. Join us again next Sunday at 8:45 a.m. for the regular bulletin of the Sandton Amateur Radio Club. This ends the weekly club bulletin for the Sandton Amateur Radio Club, ZS6STN, which was operated today from the shack of Stuart ZR1WT. Thank you to all our listeners, and 73. The ZS6STN now relinquishes all frequencies for general use.